Welcome to this spoken tutorial on Linux file system. I am using Ubuntu 10.04. We assume that you know how to get started with the Linux operating system and have some basic idea about commands. If you are interested, it is available through another spoken tutorial on the following website http://spoken-tutorial.org. Also note that Linux is case sensitive. All the commands used in this tutorial are in lowercase unless otherwise mentioned. In Linux, almost everything is a file. So what is a file? In real life, we know that a file is where we store documents and papers. Similarly, in Linux, a file is a container for storing information. Next, what is a directory? A directory can be understood as a collection of files and other subdirectories. A directory helps us in organizing our files in a systematic manner. This is like what we call folders in Windows. It allows different users to have their own directories with their files which others cannot access or modify. Also, if there are no directories, all the files on the system need to have unique names, which would be very difficult to maintain. Though these definitions of files and directories are good to get a general feel about them, they are not entirely accurate. As well as its contents, a file has a name and some properties or administrative information, that is, the file's creation or modification date and its permission. Those properties are stored in the file's inode, a special block of data in the file system that also contains the length of the file and where on the disk it is stored. The system uses the number of the file's inode. The directory structure just names the file for our benefit as it's easier for us to remember names than larger numbers. Contrary to its oversimplified definition, a directory does not actually store other files. It is itself a file that holds the inode numbers and names of other files. In fact, in Linux there are three kinds of files: regular files or ordinary files. It contains only data as a stream of characters. Directories, as we just saw in the previous slides. Device files, all hardware devices and peripherals are represented as files in Linux. A CD, a hard disk or even an USB stick. Everything is a file in Linux. But why is this so? This helps to read and write these devices in a way similar to that for ordinary files. All files in Linux are related. In short, all form a family, much like we do. A directory containing, say, some files and subdirectories will have a parent-child relationship with each other. This gives rise to the Linux file system tree. At the top is the root, denoted by a front slash. It contains all the other files and directories. This also helps in easy navigation from one file or directory to other, if you know the correct path. As we work with the Linux file system, it seems that we are moving along this tree. One command and there you are, teleported from one place to other. Sounds interesting? Indeed it is, as we will see. When we log in into the Linux file system, we are by default in a home directory. Now switch to the terminal. Ctrl-Alt-T helps to start a terminal in Ubuntu. This command may not work in all Unix systems. However, a general procedure to open a terminal is already explained in another spoken tutorial. To see the home directory, type at the command prompt echo space $HOME in capital and press enter. This gives the path name of our home directory. We can move around from one directory to other, but anytime we can be in one directory, and this directory is known as current directory or working directory. Now go back to slides. The pwd command helps us to see the current directory. Pwd stands for present working directory. Type at the command prompt pwd and press enter. Now this is our present working directory. We have said that we can move from one directory to other. But how do we do so? We have the cd command for this purpose. You have to type the command cd followed by the path name of the directory you want to move to. Let's again see our current directory by typing pwd at the command prompt and press enter. So now we are placed in this directory. Now say we want to move to /usr directory. So type cd space /usr. Remember, here slash in Linux means front slash and press enter. Now let's see our current directory. Type pwd and press enter. Yes, we have moved to /usr directory. The problem here is the path names can be very long. This is because these are absolute path names that enlist the entire path starting from the root directory. Instead, we may use relative path names that begin from the current directory. Here, we need to know two special characters. Dot that represents the current directory and dot that represents the parent directory of the current directory. Now, let us have a brief session on cd command. The command cd without any arguments is used to move back to the home directory. Type at the command prompt cd and press enter. Now check our current directory by the pwd command. So now we are back in our home directory /home/gnukhata. Now let us move to music directory. Type at the command prompt cd space music m in capital / and press enter. Now check our current directory by the pwd command pwd and press enter. See, we have moved to /home/gnukhata/music. Let us go to the parent directory of music. For that, you have to use cd command with dot. Type at the command prompt cd space ... and press enter. Now check our present directory by typing pwd. We are again in /home/gnukhata. Now let's try to move to a subdirectory of the current directory using dot. Type at the command prompt cd space /documents d in capital / press enter. Check our current directory by typing pwd. We are at /home/gnukhata/documents. Let me clear the screen by pressing Ctrl L so you can see clearly. To go back to our home directory by cd command, type cd and press enter. Again check our current directory by pwd command. We are back to /home/gnukhata. We can combine any number of ... separated by / in a relative path. In this slide, we can see the file system hierarchy. Root or / is at the top. Home and bin are two subdirectories under root. Username. Here the directory named gnukhata is a subdirectory under home. So, now we are in /home/gnukhata. Now, how can we go to bin directory? Type at the command prompt cd space ... bin and press enter. Check our current directory by the command pwd. We are at /bin. The first ... take us from /home/gnukhata to /home. The next take us from /home to root. Now from root or / we have moved to /bin directory. Go back to our home directory by the command cd. To create a directory, we use the mkdir command. You have to type the command and the name of the directory to be created, and the directory would be created under the current directory. To create a directory name testdir, type the command mkdir space testdir and press enter. This creates the testdir directory successfully. Note that there is no explicit notification of the successful directory creation or removal. If you do not get any error message, it denotes successful execution. We can also use the relative or absolute path name to create a directory anywhere in the tree, provided we have the permission to do so, and the directory by the name does not already exist. This process can be used for making multiple directories or even a hierarchy of directories. Type mkdir space test1 space test2 and press enter. This will make two directories named test1 and test2 under the present directory. Type mkdir space test3 space test3 slash test3. This will make a directory test3 and another directory test3, which is a subdirectory under test3. So we have created four directories, namely testdir, test1, test2, test3 in the current directory, out of which first three are empty and the last one contains a subdirectory, namely test3. Similar to the mkdir command is the rmdir command, which is used for removing a directory or directories. The command rmdir space test1 removes the test1 directory successfully. A directory can be removed only if you are its owner. Your current directory is hierarchically above the directory to be removed and the directory is empty. Now type at the command prompt cd space test3 slash test3. So we are now in test3 directory, which is a subdirectory under test3. Let's try to remove the testdir directory by typing the command rmdir space testdir. Press enter. We see it can't be done because current directory is not hierarchically above the directory to be removed. So we have to go to the directory which is hierarchically above testdir directory. Type cd space ... and press enter. Now go back to your parent directory by typing the command cd space ... Now again try the previous command. Type rmdir space testdir. Press enter. The testdir directory is successfully deleted. Note that testdir directory was also empty. Multiple directories or a hierarchy of directories can be removed at once. So try to delete the test3 directory along with its subdirectory test3. Type at the command prompt rmdir space test3 space test3 slash test3. Press enter. See, it is giving the error message that test3 directory cannot be removed because test3 is not empty. But one thing which you may miss is that test3 slash test3 has been deleted as it was empty. To check that, type at the command prompt cd space test3 and press enter. Now type ls and press enter. See, the directory contains nothing. So test3 was deleted. So in this Linux tutorial, we have learned about Linux files and directories and how to work with Linux directories. See them, move between them, make them, remove them. This brings me to the end of this tutorial. Spoken tutorials are part of the Talk to a Teacher project, supported by the National Mission on Education through ICT. More information on this is available at the following link. This is Anusha Kadambala signing off. Thank you for joining.